Hello folks, we're shopping in the bargain basement today. There are lots of people no doubt watching this video that have found the whole ULEZ thing to be a bit of a nightmare. Lots of people have sent me messages saying they can no longer afford to have a car on the road because of ULEZ, etc. So I'm picking out some cars here that might actually be in budget for you. They're all under £2,500. This is very much based on getting you down the road under £2,500. But I'm focusing on things that should be reasonably reliable, hopefully won't cost you the earth to fix if they do go wrong, and most importantly are ULEZ compliant and under £2,500. So let's have a look. Quite a few of them are small cars, but we do have one or two that should appeal to those of you that need a little bit more room. Now, this first car is an absolute dog. It's a Nissan Micra 1.2 16 valve S. I'm just showing you this so you know a couple of things to look out for. This generation of Micra is actually known for its reliability. There's actually a little bit of a following for them. Generally, just crack on with it, get the job done, won't let you down. And as I said, they have got a little bit of a following. A couple of things I want to show you on this one. Now, lots of the cars when you shop in the bargain basement are going to have a few character marks, shall we say. They're going to show some damage. However, this one has had a damn good pasting. And there's a couple of other things I want to warn you about on this one. So obviously that's completely stoved in. That would no doubt be a category car. Had an insurance company looked at it, but I'm guessing no one's bothered to make a claim on this. So it's got a food delivery in progress sticker on the back, which suggests it's been ragged around like anything and literally used as a dodgem, as these marks on it would attest. And also on a car with a really low output, you really don't want to see a tow bar on it. Because that engine's been under a ton of stress. So you can get a decent example of one of these for under £2,500. But I really just wanted to show you this one, you know, just remind you about tow bars on cars with tiny little engines, remind you about food delivery cars, because there are lots of them around now and they should be avoided at all costs. So here's the first proper one. It's a Mitsubishi Colt 1.3 CZ2. It does have a few little marks on it, but 795 quid. The Colt, like many Mitsubishi cars, is sort of well known for being fairly reliable and having reasonably cheap parts. You will see the paint's coming off the bumper there in a couple of places. I would imagine that bumper's been resprayed at some point, and perhaps the best job hasn't been done. It also looks like it's got a little bit of a dent in the bonnet, but I can't see particularly well there. You'll see there's a little bit of a scrape down the side and a few dents there. No one's going to worry about that on an 800 quid car, are they, in all fairness? Aside from that, it looks really reasonably clean. Long MOT, 5-speed manual, lady owner, last 12 years, full service history with receipts. Getting an ULEZ compliant car for this kind of budget with a load of receipts and proper service history is a bit of an ask, but this one does. On Auto Trader, you'll also see that it's passed the basic checks. As we know, that doesn't give you the full story. You're probably not bothered about it on an 800 quid car, but maybe on a £2,500 car you are. You can go to vouchign, links in the video description, and it's only 3 quid for the basic level of check. So if you just want to top up what Auto Trader are already giving you and do the salvage check, that will tell you if your car's been through a salvage auction at some point and once looked like this. Remember, thousands, like literally tens of thousands of cars are out there right now for sale that have passed an HPI check, passed checks from some of the biggest names in the business, because they don't check salvage history. vCheck does, link in the video description. Next one we've got is 2011 Fiat Panda. This is the 1.2 active hatchback petrol manual. Now you might think I've gone stark raving bonkers putting a Fiat on here, but I haven't. They've actually got a really good reliability record. Loads of them have been sold. Lots of motoring journalists have got an old Fiat Panda, believe it or not, because they're massively fond of them. 77,000 miles on this one. It looks really clean from what I can see in these awful pictures. I don't know why anyone would set that as the main picture on a car sale, but it looks quite clean. It says full service history, 30 quid a year on tax, excellent on fuel, cheap to insure, new gearbox and clutch fitted this week. Spare wheel and tools never used, drives fantastic, conditions great, blah, blah, blah. 1,850 quid, that one. Next, we've got the Toyota Corolla. This is the 1.4 VVTi T-Spirit. Look at that. It's only had one owner, this car, and if these pictures are anything to go by, it looks like it's still in pretty much brand new condition. It looks incredible really for a 2004 car. £1,899, 240 quid a year tax, 42 mpg combined, insurance group 9, so it's going to be pretty cheap insurance. Toyota are obviously famed for reliability. Parts can be a little bit higher on a Toyota than they are on some other makes, but then if you don't need them as often, you know, maybe it works out. Next, we've got a Dacia Sandero 1.2 Ambiance hatchback, petrol manual, Euro 5, 86,000 miles on this one, 2013 car. That's a bit mucky, isn't it? It's with a car dealer as well. You'd think they'd do a proper valet on it before they take the pictures, but some don't go to the effort, do they? There's something else to bear in mind. If you're buying from a car dealer that can't even be bothered to clean the car properly before they take the pictures, just think about other corners they may have cut on this. Just a little word of advice. I'm not saying that Hardingstone car sales have done that at all, but just give it some thought. MOT expires June 2024, 2 keys, service history and some old invoices. Car's in very good condition, inside and out clean, tidy. Well, it's not that clean, is it? Inside still feels like new. Ideal car for work or for small family. Cheap to tax, in short, ULEZ free. And let's look at the running costs on this. 180 quid a year tax, 48 mpg, insurance group 2. So that's going to be just about as cheap as anything you can get to insure. Next, we've got the Suzuki Alto. Again, just a little city car, probably ideal if you're in one of those ULEZ zones. Mega reliable, the little Suzukis. One thing you might find on those is, I know they had an engine mount issue, and there is an improved engine mount that you can get fitted, but what that results in sometimes is when you're driving, you hear a bit of a rattle. If you're getting that, it might need that new engine mount. So that's something to bear in mind on a test drive. Only a little 1 litre, this thing, MOT until December. I'd probably want them to put a new one on that, to be fair. Annual tax is 0 and a combined 65 mpg and insurance group 4. Next, we're going to have a look at this little Yaris. This is the 1 litre VVTi T2 model, 75,000 miles, 2008, 4 previous owners. It's manual, this one. It says it has got a few little bodywork issues, some scrapes and dents and things. There you go. There's a fairly sizable dent in it there. It's how much that bothers you. For 500 or 600 quid more than this, you can get one that's a bit cleaner in terms of bodywork with similar mileage. Insurance group 5, 150 quid tax and 52 mpg. Generally, very reliable car. Obviously, another small car, the Yaris, but it gets you around, doesn't it? We've got one a little bit more exciting for you now. It's this. It's the BMW Z4. This is the 2 litre SE. This is a Euro 4. It is ULEZ friendly. 81,000 miles on it. Let's have a look at it. Obviously, it's a convertible. I love the look of these Z4s. I think they've aged very well indeed, in fairness. And this one looks fairly tidy. The 3 litre is probably the one you'd want to go for in an ideal world, but you're not going to get one of those that's worth having for $2.5 grand. Nice looking alloys. They do need a little bit of a refurb. Other than that, on the face of things, it looks okay. Black full leather interior, silver, 5+ owners. This is one of those annoying garages that puts a £99 admin fee on when you buy a car. Just do not understand it, but there we go. 2,489 quid. Running costs on it, your tax is going to be 320 quid and then 37 mpg, insurance group 37. Audi A3 next, the 1.6 FSI. I used to have one of these as a company car back in the day. It cost a lot more than $2.5 grand at the time. 86,000 miles on this one, 1.6 petrol manual, dual zone climate control on it. Annual tax on that one's 240 quid, 42.8 mpg, insurance group 17. The A3 is really not a bad size family car. You've got quite a decent boot in it. Very well built back in the day. When these came out, they were very solid, very nice, heavy, clunky doors. A step above where they are now in terms of build quality, in my personal and very humble opinion. Next, we've got the BMW 1 Series. This is the 2 litre 118i SE Euro 4. Again, this one's manual, 1 year MOT. It's got alloys. There you go. Nice looking cars, the 1 Series. I would give you a word of caution on these, folks. If you're looking at a 1 Series, read up about the common faults before you go and look at it, and the common faults specific to that particular model. There have been reliability issues with these over the years, but when you look at that, it's an ULEZ compliant BMW 1 Series for under 2.5 grand. Obviously, it's always buyer beware whenever you go and look at a used car. I've written a book on it, so you can go and check that out. You can actually get this for free using the link in the description below. If you do a free trial of Kindle Unlimited, you can read that completely free. Otherwise, you can get the book for about £7. Full of handy tips about buying a used car. We've then got a little Honda Jazz. You have to have a Jazz in one of these videos. There will be loads of people in the comments that tell you they've had a Jazz and it's the most amazing car they've ever had and it's been faultless, and there will be a few with some horror stories. The Jazz is generally mega reliable, but there are certainly some Friday cars out there as well, so just be aware of that. The 1.4 VTEC ES hatchback. This is a Euro 4, 100 PS of power, 83,000 miles on this one. The Jazz is great because you've got quite a small car footprint, but it's got a decent sized boot, and you've got flexibility where you can pop the seats up or down, and you can actually turn it into sort of a little van. It's very good at swallowing up stuff, is the Jazz. This one is a little bit untidy in places. It looks like someone's launched a pot of paint into the boot there, which is not really ideal, is it? But you can get a tidy one for about 2.5 grand. I'm just showing you this one because it is pretty blooming cheap, and a lot of people won't be bothered by some of these things. Running costs are good, 150 quid tax, 52 MPG and insurance group 16. Now, if you're thinking about a Jazz, you might also want to have a look at the Nissan Note. Now, most of the cars in this video have been Euro 4 cars, and the Euro 4 petrol cars, which means they're ULEZ compliant. This is a Euro 5, as was the Dacia Sandero and I think the Fiat Panda are Euro 5 cars. So at the moment, Euro 4 is acceptable. And if you're thinking about, I wonder when they're going to change the goalposts on that, maybe a Euro 5 car is a safer bet for you. You might be thinking, well, 2.5 grand car's only going to see me out 2 years, and surely they're not going to change the goalposts in 2 years. But something to think about. This is the 1.4 16 valve N-Tech, 2011 model, 78,000 miles. Little sort of mini SUVs, these things. One of the first mini SUVs that was really became sort of quite popular. And they're generally pretty decent cars. There are a few common issues if you sort of dig them up, but most people will tell you a happy story about their time with a Note. HPI clear, ULEZ free, warranted miles, 12 months MOT, 2 keys, sat-nav, alloy wheels, etc. It says part service history, whatever that means. Insurance group 10, 180 quid a year tax and 48 MPG. It's really not a bad shout to have a look at a Note. By the way, in this video, folks, I'm not vouching for any of these particular cars. I'm just sort of giving you an idea of what is available out there and the kind of things you can get for under 2.5 grand that will be compliant with those ULEZ zones. Folks, if you found this video useful, if you are one of the people that are sort of struggling to find something and think, it's the end of the world, I can never own a car again because ULEZ has come in, hopefully this gives you a little glimmer of hope. Now, as always, when buying a used car, you have to do your homework a little bit. You really have to get the thing inspected. You have to do a really thorough test drive. If you want more information on that, as I said, the link to my book is in the video description and pinned as the top comment, as is my link to vCheck if you want to do a more thorough used car history check. Buyer beware is always there, but perhaps more so when you're at this end of the market. So just be wary of things that seem too good to be true. And if you know a friendly mechanic or anything that will come and look over the car with you, then better still. Thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Please give the video a thumbs up and please leave a comment. The algorithm loves all those things, so make it happy for me. Thanks.